The History of Marvel by me, Fionn Brown. Marvel is a famous American entertainment company known for creating iconic superheroes like Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Captain America, as well as supervillains, all living in a shared universe known as the Marvel Universe. Since it started in 1939, Marvel has expanded from comic books to include blockbuster movies, television shows, video games, and merchandise. Its exploring themes of heroism and morality as cap- captivating as has captivated audiences globally. Marvel milestones. 1939. Timely Comics created by Martin Goodman, later renamed Marvel Comics. 1940s to 1950s. The Golden Age of Comics, this is called. The era laid the foundation for Marvel's future superhero comics. 1960s. The Silver Age. The birth of the Marvel Universe. 1970s, the Bronze Age. Marvel Comics tackled more socially relevant issues, exploring themes such as racism, drug abuse, and environmentalism. 1990s to present day, the modern era. Marvel Comics expanded to include movies, television shows, video games, and digital comics. Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU. Marvel Studios' launch of the MCU in 2008 with Iron Man marked a new chapter in Marvel's evolution. Diversity and inclusion. Marvel Comics has made efforts to diversify in introducing more diverse superheroes and promoting inclusivity and representation in its storytelling. Martin Goodman founded Timely Comics in 1939. On August 31st, 1939, Timely Comics created their first comic, called Marvel Comics Volume 1, featuring the original Human Torch, the Submariner, and more. The Human Torch is a robot, and his clothing is made of a material that bursts into flames when exposed to oxygen. Timely Comics renamed themselves Atlas Comics in the 1950s. It wasn't until the 1960s that they became Marvel Comics as we know them today. Fun facts. Marvel owns Men in Black. Stan Lee's real name is Stanley Martin Lieber. He got his nickname in high school and legally changed his name to Stan Lee. Stan Lee made 38 cameos in the Marvel movies up until his death in 2018. Marvel's first black superhero was Black Panther. He debuted in Fantastic Four 52 in 1966, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. He was the first black superhero in mainstream American comics. Marvel Comics has introduced numerous alternate universes and storylines over the years, including the popular What If series, which explores hypothetical scenarios and alternate outcomes for its characters. Facts continued. Marvel's Cinematic Universe, otherwise known as the MCU, kicked off in the 2008 with the release of Iron Man. Since then, the MCU has become the highest grossing film franchise of all time. Deadpool, known for his humor and breaking the fourth wall, made his first appearance in the New Mutants 98 in 1991. Despite being a relatively obscure character at the time, Deadpool has since become one of Marvel's most popular and anti-heroes. Marvel has a tradition of including Easter eggs and references to other comic books, films, and pop culture. Within its stories and movies, fans enjoy hunting for these hidden gems as they provide insights into the larger Marvel universe.
You know, I guess one person can make a difference. Enough said.
That was one of Stan Lee's cameos in the movie The Spider-Man. Years in Marvel's history. Stan Lee. You've probably heard of Stan Lee, referred as the godfather of Marvel. He co-created many of Marvel's iconic characters, including Spider-Man, Iron Man, and the Hulk, Thor, and the X-Men, and the Fantastic Four. He served as the company's editor and chief, writer, and publisher, and played a significant role in shaping the Marvel Universe. What you may not know is that Stan Lee started as a gopher and editorial assistant at Timely Comics. Jack Kirby is also known as the King of Comics, a great artist and co-creator alongside Stan Lee and Martin and many Marvel characters, including the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Thor, Iron Man, and the Hulk. His art and great storytelling helped create the look and feel of the Marvel Universe today. There are many more key figures that have left a permanent mark on Marvel's history and legacy, shaping the characters and stories that continue to captivate audiences around the world. The Golden Age. The Golden Age of Comics, 1930s to 1950s. During the Golden Age, modern comic books were first published and rapidly increased in popularity. The superhero archetype was created and many well-known characters were introduced. The sales of comic books increased during World War II. They were cheap, portable, and had inspirational patriotic stories of good winning over evil. The tales very much reflected the events and values of the time. The Silver Age, 1960s to 1970s. The Silver Age of comic books was a period of artistic advancement and and commercial success in mainstream American comic books, especially those featuring the superhero archetype. The popularity of comic books about superheroes had declined following World War II, and comic books about horror, crime, and romance took larger shares of the market. Controversy arose over suspected links between comic books and juvenile delinquency. Focusing in particular on crime, horror, and superheroes, in 1954, publishers implemented the Comics Code Authority to regulate comic content. Marvel Comics capitalized on the revived interest in superhero storytelling by introducing sophisticated stories and characterization under the guidance of writer-editor Stan Lee. Marvel shifted from traditional archetypes to flawed and self-doubting characters, demonstrated by the creation of the Fantastic Four in 1961. This new approach, marked by human failings and relatable struggles revolutionized the comic book industry. Inspired by contemporary science fiction, Marvel's Silver Age comics explained superhero phenomena through science rather than magic or mysticism, resonating with the social upheaval of the 1960s. The Bronze Age of comics. The Bronze Age, 1970s to 1980s. This age brought the return of darker plot elements and storylines more related to relevant social issues began to flourish during the period. In 1970, Jack Kirby left Marvel Comics, ending arguably the most important creative partnership of the Silver Age with Stan Lee. Kirby left Marvel feeling that his contributions were underappreciated and that he lacked the space to experiment on his own characters. Kirby then turned to DC. In other words, Jack Kirby is a gosh darn traitor. Marvel Comics also tackled serious issues, pushing boundaries with storylines like the tragic death of Spider-Man's girlfriend Gwen Stacy at the hands of the Green Goblin. This event, along with other darker narratives, marked a shift in superhero storytelling toward more mature and complex themes. Marvel addressed drug abuse in a groundbreaking 3-part Spider-Man story, challenging the Comics Code authorities' strict regulations, which led to a revision of the code. You killed the woman I love, and for that, you're going to die. Modern era, 1990s present. During approximately the first 15 years of this period, many comic book characters were redesigned. Creators gained prominence in the industry. Independent comics flourished, and larger publishing houses became commercialized. In the mid-1980s, Marvel Comics capitalized on the soaring popularity of the X-Men franchise by expanding its universe with spin-off titles collectively known as X-Books. These included New Mutants, later transformed into X-Force, as well as X-Factor, Excalibur, and a solo Wolverine series. The success of the X-Men franchise led to over a dozen titles published each month. By the mid-1990s, the popularity of the X-Men was further boosted by the launch of the Fox Network's animated series in 1992, attracting a new generation of fans. However, the market crash in the mid-1990s, coupled with Marvel's bankruptcy in 1996, led to the scaling book of the X-Men franchise and the cancellation of several titles. Despite these setbacks, the X-Men franchise continued through a series of blockbuster films in the early 2000s and continued to evolve with reinvented comic book series, ensuring its legacy in the world of comic and beyond. In recent years, Marvel's influence has extended far beyond the pages of Marvel comic books into various forms of media, including movies, TV shows, and video games. Marvel's adaptations into other media have become a cornerstone of popular culture, captivating audiences worldwide.
Oh boy.
Movies. Marvel Studios, starting with Iron Man in 2008, revolutionized the superhero genre with its interconnected universe. Known as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU for short, the MCU has become one of the most successful film franchise in history, featuring blockbuster hits like The Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Black Panther. These movies have not only got critical acclaim and box office success, but have also introduced iconic characters to new audiences and expanded the Marvel Universe in unprecedented ways. TV shows. Marvel has also made a significant impact on the small screen. The Netflix series, including Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, offered a grittier and more mature take on Marvel's street level heroes. Additionally, shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, expanding the MCU's world building, exploring the lives of supporting characters and organizations. More recently, Disney Plus has become a platform for Marvel to produce high quality original series like WandaVision and The Falcon and The Winter Soldier and Loki, further expanding the MCU's storyline. Video games. Marvel's presence in the gaming industry has also been notable. Titles such as Marvel's Spider-Man series on PlayStation consoles have received critical acclaim for their immersive gameplay and engaging narratives. Other games like Marvel's Avengers and Marvel Ultimate Allies 3: The Black Order have allowed players to control their favorite superheroes in action-packed adventures, further solidifying Marvel's presence in the gaming world. Conclusion. Marvel's journey through time has been nothing short of extraordinary. From its small beginnings as Timely Comics in the 1930s to becoming a cultural powerhouse in the modern era, Marvel has continually evolved and adapted to the changing landscape of the comic book industry through its groundbreaking storytelling, iconic characters, and innovative approach to superhero narratives. Marvel has captured the imagination of generations of readers and fans worldwide. The impact of Marvel Comics are profound and far-reaching. Marvel's contributions to the comic book medium include introducing complex and relatable characters, pioneering shared universes, and addressing social issues through its storytelling. Its characters have become cultural icons, inspiring countless adaptations across various forms of media and influencing popular culture in significant ways. Marvel's legacy is not only evident in its vast array of beloved characters and stories, but also in its lasting impact on the comic book industry as a whole. Personally, Marvel's influence has been huge. As a fan of comic books and superhero stories, Marvel has provided me with endless entertainment, inspiration, and moments of wonder. Its characters have not only entertained me, but have also taught me valuable lessons about courage, resilience, and the power of heroism. From the time I was a toddler, my mom has been reading me Marvel stories. One of the first lessons I remember I learned was from Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. Marvel has left a lasting effect on my life, shaping my imagination and sparking my passion for storytelling and creativity.
Tell you how Spider-Man came into being. It's a true story, although sometimes it's hard even for me to believe it. We had already done the Fantastic Four and I think maybe the X-Men, I can't remember the order, but my publisher came to me and he said, Stan, I want you to come up with another superhero. I thought, what can I come up with now? And the most important thing in a superhero at first is the superpower. Once you get that, everything else comes along. So I thought, what power will I give a new guy? And I saw a fly crawling on the wall. And I said, hey, if I could get a superhero that could stick to walls and crawl on them, man, that would be cool. So I thought that was good. Now I needed a name. So I said, well, let's see, Fly Man, Mosquito Man. I got down to Spider-Man. Spider-Man. It just sounded dramatic. So, okay, I had my hero, I had his power, his name, and then I figured just for fun, I'm gonna give him personal problems. Then I thought I'd make him a teenager, because there were no teenage superheroes that I knew of at the time. So armed with all that wonderful material, those great ideas, I ran into my publisher's office and I told him, this was my reaction, the reaction he gave me. Stan, that is the worst idea I have ever heard. First of all, people hate spiders, so you can't call a hero Spider-Man. You want him to be a teenager? Teenagers can only be sidekicks. And you want him to have personal problems? Stan, don't you know what a superhero is? They don't have personal problems. So we were about to kill the magazine. It wasn't selling well, and we were sending the last issue to press. When you do the last issue of a magazine, nobody cares what you put in it because the book is dying. Just to get it out of my system, I put Spider-Man in Amazing Fantasy, featured him on the cover. A month later, all the sales figures came in. My publisher came racing into my office. Stan, you remember that character we both loved so much, Spider-Man? He said, let's do him as a series. Now, why am I telling you this? If you have an idea that you genuinely think is good, don't let some idiot talk you out of it. If there is something that you feel is good, something you want to do, something that means something to you, try to do it. Because I think you can only do your best work if you're doing what you want to do, and if you're doing it the way you think it should be done, and if you can take pride in it after you've done it, no matter what it is. So don't let idiots talk you out of something that you think is good. Just do your thing, do it as well as you, that's the important thing. Don't shirk. Whatever you do, give it your best shot. You'll be glad you did. Excelsior! Thank you.
The end. Any questions? These are my sources.